What is up, FA Nation? It's Kevin Tompkins here, back with another Target Report bullet points for Week 17. We are here in the Fantasy Football Championship, or the semifinals if you play until Week 18. So it's the high leverage weeks, and now more than ever, we do need that most actionable information from Target Report bullet points. If you haven't already liked the video or subscribed to Fantasy Alarm, go ahead and do that below. Of course, we have Target Report every Thursday on Fantasy Alarm, so go and check that out as well. Link will be down in the description of this video. But you know what? It's the championship. It's the semifinal. Either way, we are in the high leverage week, so we need to get you that information as soon as possible here. So let's get right into it. The most actionable information to bring with you to your fantasy football championship or semifinal coming up in Week 17. Known in some circles as the NFC version of Gabe Davis, Rashid Shaheed has been a boomer bust option for fantasy managers in the last 2 seasons since becoming a regular in their starting wide receiver sets. The Saints have trotted out actual grocery baggers at wide receiver in weeks 13 and 14, alongside Chris Olave, names like A.T. Perry and Keith Kirkwood among them. With Shaheed back in the lineup beginning last weekend in week 15, he worked his way back into the offense with a 73% routes per dropback. In week 16, he tied a season-high 9 targets with one of his best games of the season with a 5-catch, 70-yard line capped up with a 45-yard touchdown. The Saints have an extremely exploitable matchup with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who teams have been able to pass on all season. With Shaheed helping to lead the charge, he's a massive upside wide receiver 3 or flex option in the fantasy playoffs that could put you over the top and put a trophy on your mantle. He did it for me last season in the fantasy playoffs. He could do it for you this season if you have the need for Shaheed. KJ Osborne has always been kind of an all-exercise team wide receiver. Runs a lot of cardio. He runs a lot of routes, but isn't targeted very heavily. Last season, he had the 3rd lowest yards per route run of any wide receiver with 90 or more targets at 1.09, only higher than Adam Thielen and Paris Campbell. It hasn't been much better this season on a per-route basis, even with Justin Jefferson sidelined for a large stretch of action this season. But when 2 pass catchers ahead of you fall due to injury and the Vikings need somebody to step up, Osborne did just that in week 16 when he put up a 5-catch, 95-yard line with a touchdown on 7 targets. The Vikings have always been a team that consolidates their personnel, going back to when Kevin O'Connell was an offensive coordinator with Washington and the LA Rams. So Osborne should be playing close to every single route across from Justin Jefferson, especially if TJ Hockenson and Jordan Addison are out. If Hawkinson's knee and or Addison's ankle cause them to miss week 17 against Green Bay, Osborne should be able to put up a solid wide receiver 3 line for fantasy managers in their semifinals or fantasy championship. I've spent most of my late 30s fading Clyde EdwardsHelaire since he vaulted himself into a top 7 pick in fantasy drafts as a rookie in 2020. But circumstances change, we must adjust, and now CEH finds himself on the top of the pile of running backs in Kansas City with Jerick McKinnon on IR with a groin injury, and then Isaiah Pacheco suffering a nasty concussion when a teammate's knee hit his exposed head after his helmet came off during a tackle. It would be tough for Pacheco to clear concussion protocol after playing on a Sunday, let alone on Christmas Monday. This would leave CEH, if Pacheco were unable to play, as the top dog, as he took 88% of snaps once Pacheco left, including all 5 third downs and most of the green zone inside the 10 snaps. Only behind him are LaMichael Pirine and potentially Deneric Prince coming from the practice squad. So you have to figure CEH is going to get the bulk of the run here in Kansas City. The Kansas City Chiefs do play the Cincinnati Bengals in week 17, the Bengals being a bottom 10 team in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns allowed this season. CEH now represents RB1 upside and should be the top waiver claim for people this week. He's an instant start if you're looking for a running back to play or a solid flex option.